What's up, y'all? This is Hammer here again, back with another video. And today I'm going to be talking about the Simone Biles controversy. The reason why I want to dive into this controversy is because I feel like out of all of the reactions I've seen online, whether it's from the men or the women, and let me be clear here, it's mostly the women that will do these reactions. But out of all the reactions I've seen, one thing I have noticed is that nobody has really done a real analysis as to what this really about. Because let's be honest here, we already know that when most women talk about situations, very few times are they gonna be honest about their feelings. Men kind of gotta guess about it. So what I want to do in this video is really talk about the real source, the real cause of this outrage towards Simone Biles' husband and what he said from women and what it's really about. And just as the title may suggest, right, the cause, the source of the outrage, it's not about what he really said. It comes down to the idea, the topic of desirability. There's a reason why the title of the video is, its own Biles Undesirable. What I'm trying to say here is that what this is really about is desirability. Now, I'm going to talk about this from both the black female perspective, right, and the non-black female perspective. And I think by the end of this, I will say the black female perspective, the non-black female perspective, and then I think the male perspective in general. I think that should do a good analysis, right? From the black female perspective, right, a lot of black women don't want to admit this, but, black women essentially, they grow up with immense amount of low self-esteem. Immense amount of low self-esteem. And the reason is because from the day they're born, till they become old, right? They are told by the society that they are not the standard of beauty, right? All they see is blonde hair, blue-eyed white girls running around on television screens, right? And you have to understand that when it comes to women, their beauty is everything, right? Yes, you can go out here, have a degree, build a home, build a business, but women understand that when it comes to the dating market, they're primarily going to be judged on their beauty first, right? Yes, you can compensate with submission and being traditional and serving your man, but they know that for the most of women, beauty is going to be the main criteria, right? Same thing how when it comes to men, right? Hey, look, you could be a handsome dude. You could be a guy with game and swag, but men know that they're going to be primarily judged on their resources. So it's the same thing. So because black women already grow up feeling like they're not the beauty standard and they're not, desired by the society, right? The way black women compensate for this is by essentially being overachievers. I've heard a lot of black men talk about why do black women, double down so much on the degrees, because they have to. If you're an unambiguous dark-skinned black woman and you're growing up and you're being told by the white society that you're not the standard, and unfortunately, unambiguous dark-skinned black women get told by even the black society that they're not a standard, because a lot of times, let's be honest here, brothers, light-skinned females, racially ambiguous women, a lot of time gets pedestalized over unambiguous dark-skinned black women. So further reinforcing the lower self-esteem they already have, right? So they already grow up with this. And so the way they overcompensate for this is by being over it. That's why they double down on their achievements. So say, okay, I already know as an unambiguous dark-skinned black woman that I'm not going to be the beauty standard, but I can be the most educated. I can have the most degrees. That's why they double down so hard on their achievements, right? I can do that, right? And also to kind of let black men know, this is also the reason why they get so hurt when they see black men with non-black women, right? Let's be honest here. The vast majority of group of people, right, across the group, even black men too, all group of people prefer to deal with their own group. We prefer to be desired by our own group, right? Even black men, we feel a certain kind when we see a black female with a bride. Let's be honest here. Dudes don't want to admit that, but that's why when a black woman is with a white dude, she gets called a bad witch, right? So all groups of people prefer to be with their own group, and they prefer for their own group to desire them. Okay? So for a lot of black women, the reason why, they feel so hurt when they see black men date out is because, one, not only are they being told by the white society and by non-black people that they're at the bottom of the hierarchy, that they're not desirable, they're not the beauty standard, right? For them to then see their own male counterparts say the same thing, that hurts even more. And to kind of help men understand, think about it for example, right? Think about it for example. If everybody across the world says they hate you as a man, that's one thing. But if your own family says that they hate you, that hurts you even more. Why? Because those are the people you're related to. Those are the people that are close to you. So the same thing applies when it comes to black women, right? From their point of view, hey, as an unambiguous dark-skinned black woman, I can accept that maybe white men don't want. I can accept that I am not the beauty standard for white men. I can accept I'm not the beauty. Like, they can accept that they're not the beauty standard for non-black men, right? But they at least expect that their own male counterpart will view them at least. Like, I as an unambiguous dark-skinned black woman, I should be able to rely on the fact that my own group of men, black men, will find me as their beauty standard because I literally look like them. And so when they see men that look like them, black men, saying that you got nappy hair, and when they see black men that look like them doing the same thing, saying that they prefer these pedestalized non-black women, it hurts them even more. Because these are supposed to be their male counterpart. These are men that look like them, telling them that they are not the beauty standard. Okay? And so this creates a lot of pain. And so with this understanding, right, now that we go to a Simone Biles situation, right, understand that this is how a lot of black women saw that situation. See, for a lot of men like me, right, right, black men, right, all we really heard from, Simone Biles' husband was like, hey, and y'all can correct me in the chat, but I believe his name is Jonathan Owens. Y'all can correct me in the chat, but that's based on my understanding. But all we heard from her husband is that, hey, I saw this chick. She was not my preference. I wasn't interested in her. I met with her, and I started to like her, and we kind of hit it off, right? And a lot of men can understand that. Look, there's a lot of times you meet a girl who you may not be attracted to at first, but once you get to know her, you're like, this girl is really good. I can see myself, and you sort of grow to love her over time, right? Because she brings other things to the table, like submission, femininity, playing her role as a wife, things like that, right? That's what we heard. But what men need to understand that that's not what black women heard. What black women heard was that here is another situation of a black woman, Simone Biles, who is an overachiever. She's a multiple, now based on my understanding, she's a multiple Olympic gold medalist. And despite all of her achievement, here you have a black man essentially not honoring her beauty. That's all they saw, right? Because you have to understand, they're not going to see this as an individual black male. They're going to see this as from the collective experience. Growing up, being told by the white society they're not the beauty standard. Being told by non-black men they're not the beauty standard. And unfortunately, being told by the old group of men that they're not even the beauty standard. So when they see a woman like Simone Biles, who from their point of view is overachiever, very good looking, and even she, as an unambiguous dark-skinned black woman, despite all of her achievements, is being told by her husband, publicly that, well, she wasn't really my type. Essentially, from their point of view, Simone Biles' husband, right, did not honor her beauty, right? Simone Biles' husband essentially did not really seem like he was into her, right? And all of this played back into this sense of undesirability that many black women deal with. That they feel like no matter what they do, the society is always going to make them feel undesirable. And so you have to understand that for Simone Biles, a lot of the low self-esteem, the resentment, the fears around that, they lived vicariously through her in that situation. So him saying that, I wasn't really feeling her like that, she drove to me, we hit it off, right? From their point of view, they did not hear Simone Biles' husband say, hey, I met this girl, I wasn't into her at first, and we hit off. What they heard is, here is another example of somebody telling unambiguous, dark-skinned black women that we are not enough. And to be honest with you, I sympathize with that. I genuinely sympathize with that when it comes to black women. I get it. But I think I'm trying to want to say, help black men. That's what this comes from. That's the reason why many black men are shocked, because I'm saying they're not viewing it from your point of view. They're viewing it from the point of view of being a black woman growing up in America, of being told that they're undesirable. So they live, so from their point of view, they see themselves in Simone Biles. They see themselves in Simone Biles, the unambiguous, dark-skinned black woman. And when they see her husband essentially, from their point of view, make her seem undesirable, this triggers a traumatic response, right? It's like all of the trauma they have dealt with growing up as being unambiguous, dark-skinned black women being told they're undesirable just got triggered, right? And now Simone Biles' husband is no longer an individual. He becomes a representation of all of that trauma. That's the reason why they can't let it go. Because he's not an individual, right? He has now become the representation of that. So it is a sense of trauma bonding, right? It's trauma dumping, the trauma dumping on him. All of the resentment they have of the society telling them they're undesirable, of black men telling them they're undesirable. That's the reason why I named this video is Simone Biles undesirable, because that's how a lot of black women are going to view it, that Simone Biles, like many unambiguous dark-skinned black women, is once again being painted as undesirable. So that's sort of the black female perspective as to why they're going crazy over this. And to be honest with you, ladies, sisters, I understand. I get it. I completely understand. I get it. I understand how they feel. I understand how they feel, constantly being attacked for the looks, constantly for the hair. I completely get it. I completely get it. Growing up your whole life being told that no matter what you do, you'll never meet that beauty standard of a white female. Right? And to even have your own group of men say that. So I get it. And so I understand why, from their point of view, they're going at John's husband, right? Because let's be honest here, it has nothing to do with him saying he's all of that is a cop-out. All this comes down to is Jonathan Owens is a representation of all of the traumatic experiences that unambiguous dark-skinned black women go through, in which they are made to feel undesirable. That's all it is. That's all it is. Now, that's the reason why, they're going at Jonathan Owens and, Simone Biles' husband, the way they're going there, right? Now, that is the black female perspective, right? Now, when you go to the non-black female perspective, right? Why am I seeing all of this rising number of non-black women now covering this? Well, the answer is very simple. Although from the point of view of black women, it has to do with desirability, colorism and featureism, right? From the point of view of non-black women, it has to do with sex. It has to do with quote-unquote patriarchy, right? A lot of women grow up in society in which they feel as if they are always viewed as second class to men, right? We've talked about this, right? This is how they personally feel, right? Because non-black women don't have to deal with race because black women's reaction to this has more to do with race and how they're perceived as undesirable to the race. Non-black women's reaction to this has more to do with sex, in terms of, from their point of view, they grow up, from their point of view, right, as women, as non-black women, right, they grow up in which they are told almost every single day that no matter what they do, they will never reach the level, or they will never be honored the way a man is. And so, from their point of view, when they saw Jonathan Owens, what they saw is a situation in which here you have a woman who is a super achiever and all these things, and despite all of her achievements, once again, the situation is being framed in which the man is still better, right? That's how it's been. So you have to understand, right? Black women are coming at us from a racial, traumatic perspective. Non-black women are coming at us from a purely sex perspective, right? Gender perspective. So understand this. So when it comes from so when black women look at this, it's, oh my God, here's another situation of us of unambiguous dark-skinned black women being told they're undesirable. And when it comes to non-black women, they're saying, oh my God, here's another situation of essentially men here's a situation of men being pedestalized over women, right? Here's a situation in which no matter how much a woman tries, she's always going to be put second tier to a man, right? So that's how it's being viewed. So those are the two perspectives, right? So the non-black women are coming at it from, the sex perspective, gender perspective of, no matter how hard women try, men are always put in front, men are always valued more. And then black women come at it from the point of view of, no matter how hard black women try, they're always going to be painted as undesirable. So that's the perspective of the black female and the non-black female. Now, when it comes to the general sort of male perspective, I've said it before, the vast majority of men, you have your exceptions, but for the vast majority of men, we understood what he said, right? He was a guy who, I from his point of view, I saw this woman, she wasn't my type, my preference, but I took a chance, so I got to know her and I grew to love her. And we understand that, like, let's be honest here. There are many situations, men, in which you sort of deal with a chick that you may not find the most attractive, but as you get to know her, you fall in love with her, with her other qualities, right? You fall in love with her heart. You fall in love with how feminine she is. You fall in her with who she is as a person. You're like, oh my God, she's not my type, but she's so nice. She's so soft. She takes care of me. I can see her as a wife. I can see her as a mother of my kid. And so you grow to love her over time. So we understood what he was saying, right? But what I wanted to do was to let the men say, look, that's how the men viewed it. But when it comes to black women and non-black women, this is how they viewed it. And this is the reason why you're seeing the reaction you're seeing online. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and leave it at that. But just to let you guys know, look, I perfectly understand, right, that for women in general, right, they're sort of in between the struggle of, on one hand, they want to be strong and independent, but on the other hand, they want the men to provide for everything. And that's fine, do that. But if you keep trying to kind of jump both sides, it's not going to work, right? And I'm seeing this with some of my tuition, right? Because all over the place. Because on one hand, black women are coming at it from the desirability perspective. Non-black women are coming at it from the sex perspective, right? But all of them kind of have their feminism to throw in there too, right? About, well, we gotta decenter men. This is why you gotta have your own job, your own car, your own everything, so you don't gotta rely on the man, right? Right, it's crazy, right? And then of course, we already know 3 months later they'll be talking about how men gotta start paying for all the bills. Why are men going? So it's all over the place, right? It's all over the place. So I'm personally, I'm tired of seeing how whenever a situation is happening, right, both black women and non-black women come out with their grievances. They go through a feminist tirade about how much they don't need men, and then months later it goes back to, why are we going 50-50? Why aren't the men building? Why aren't the men providing? So it gets tired. But nevertheless, I hope in this video I was able to kind of give a deep analysis for what's happening here, right? The perspective of the black female, the non-black female, the male perspective, and just everything in between. But with that being said, y'all, tell me in the chat what you guys think about this, whether you agree and disagree. And look, if you agree with me, that's fine. Just leave it there. If you disagree with me, what I would prefer is, kind of list down where to agree with so I can better understand your perspective and I respond back, so I can understand where you're coming from. But because once again, when I make these videos, it's not just about me spotting off points. I always want to kind of get the perspective of the audience and what folks may feel. So if you have your own different points laid down, I would love to see it. So just go ahead and do that, right? And also for all my subscribers, I will try and upload more daily videos as much as I can. I may not be able to do it all the time, but I will try a little more. But I very much appreciate you guys sticking with me here. But with that being said, y'all, like, share, subscribe, hammer out.